Caylee, you would think, gosh, that was such a bright light.
March 14th, 2023. A Tuesday morning that started like any other in Milford, Ohio. Julie, Caylee's mother, remembers, "I kissed her on the top of the head and told her I loved her. I could tell she had been crying.
I kissed her on the top of the head and I told her I loved her, and I tiptoed out and went to work."
15-year-old Caylee Mastin was more than just a daughter. She was an honor roll student, a soccer player, and a girl with the brightest smile you'd ever see. If you remember Kay, you would think, gosh, that was such a bright light.
Caylee, you would think, gosh, that was such a bright light.
But behind that smile was a girl carrying pain no teenager should ever have to bear. A girl who'd lost her father at 5. A girl who'd been trapped in a toxic relationship that slowly broke her spirit. That morning, Julie sent her daughter a text. "How are you feeling? Don't forget about therapy." Caylee texted back saying she was sorry. Julie's heart knew she was already gone. This is the story of how teen love turned deadly. Caylee Marie Mastin was born on August 16, 2007 in Cincinnati, Ohio. She grew up in the quiet town of Milford with her mom Julie, dad Donald, and younger brother Camden. From day one, Kay was known for her bright smile and kind heart. She loved to laugh and was always ready to give anyone a hug. The family was close knit. School days, movie nights, and weekends spent together filled their home with love and laughter. Caylee and Camden had that special sibling bond. They played together, teased each other, and were always there when it mattered. But life changed too soon. In 2012, when Caylee was just 5 years old, her father Donald passed away after battling cancer. He had been a devoted dad, and losing him hit Caylee hard. She was a daddy's girl, and his death left a huge hole in her heart. Julie did her best to comfort her children, but the grief ran deep. She became a single mom, raising 2 young kids while dealing with her own heartbreak. With help from family and the Milford community, she kept going. Caylee's uncle became a big support during that difficult time. Heartbreak struck again in 2020 when Caylee's uncle died suddenly in a car accident. Kay was just 13 years old, another painful loss to carry. Still, she kept going. Despite all the sadness, Kay stayed gentle, kind, and strong. As Kay entered her teenage years, she blossomed into a well-rounded young girl. At Milford High School, she quickly became known for her strong grades and love for soccer. In the classroom, Kay was an honor roll student who took her studies seriously. She was respectful to teachers, kind to classmates, and always willing to help someone struggling. But it was on the soccer field where Kay truly shined. She played midfielder and gave her all in every game. Her coaches called her a fierce competitor, and her teammates loved the energy she brought to the team. Whether scoring goals or lifting others up after a tough play, Kay made everyone around her feel included. Outside of class and sports, Kay had a gentle, fun personality. She was known for her big smile, silly jokes, and thoughtful heart. Friends said she was the type of person who always checked in if someone was having a bad day. At home, she was just as grounded, helping with chores, spending time with her dog, and enjoying quiet evenings with her mom. At just 14 years old, during her freshman year at Milford High School, Kay entered what would become a deeply painful chapter in her life. She began dating a boy named Abel, someone who at first seemed caring and attentive. Abel was also a student at Milford High and played on the school's varsity football team. At first, their relationship looked like typical teenage romance, but it didn't stay that way for long. Friends and family said Abel became possessive and controlling. He told Kay who she could talk to, pressured her to delete friends from social media, and often started arguments out of jealousy. Sometimes he would say hurtful things, only to apologize later, a pattern that repeated again and again. Messages from that time painted a painful picture. Abel's tone was often cold and dismissive. He shut her down, ignored her feelings, and ended conversations without care. In response, Caylee's words showed hurt, sadness, and a longing for peace. She brought up how much she missed her dad and how tired she felt. The exchanges showed more than just teenage disagreements. They revealed someone being emotionally pushed to a place no one should ever be. Caylee's friend said she became more anxious and withdrawn. Her energy started to fade. Julie noticed the changes too. When she found out what was happening, she tried to help Kay leave the relationship. Kay did try to break up with Abel, but he kept pulling her back in. He used guilt, manipulation, and even threats to keep her from walking away. Tuesday, March 14th, 2023 began like any other day for 15-year-old Caylee Mastin. She had online classes that morning because the upper grades were testing, so she stayed home. It was supposed to be just an ordinary day. Julie was getting ready for work when she heard Kay moving around in her room. That was weird. Kay was never a morning person. Julie knocked on her daughter's door but got no answer. She cracked the door open and could tell Kay was pretending to be asleep. Julie tiptoed over to her daughter, kissed her on the top of the head, and told her she loved her. Then she quietly left for work. She could tell Kay had been crying. Around mid-morning, Julie wanted to check on her daughter. She sent a text. "How are you feeling? Are you hungry? Don't forget about therapy." Therapy was always a struggle. They fought about it every week. When Kay replied saying she was sorry, Julie thought maybe she was talking about therapy. She immediately called her daughter, but got no answer. She called again, still nothing. She sent another text, no response. Julie checked the cameras around their home, but saw nothing alarming. Yet, somehow, in her heart, she knew. "My heart knew she was already gone," Julie later said. Kay was only 15 years old. Her passing left her family, friends, and the entire Milford community in complete shock. No one could fully understand how much she had been carrying or how heavy it had truly become. After Kay's death, the community of Milford came together in a powerful way. Within days, her friends organized a candlelight vigil at a local park. Hundreds of people showed up, wearing purple ribbons, Kay's favorite color. A local group helped raise over $30,000 to cover funeral costs. But for Julie, the pain didn't stop with the funeral. The quiet house, the memories everywhere, the aching absence, it became too much to carry. Alongside her heartbreak came guilt, confusion, and eventually anger. Julie began learning more about the relationship that had taken such a toll on Kay, especially the emotional harm caused by her ex-boyfriend Abel. Something shifted inside her. She believed he had emotionally broken her daughter and played a role in what happened. That belief grew stronger until it overwhelmed her. On August 27, 2023, about 6 months after Kay's passing, Julie arrived at a house party where Abel was present. In her grief, she confronted him. The situation never turned physical, but it was terrifying for everyone there. Julie was arrested and charged with unlawful entry and making threats. She later admitted she had turned to alcohol to cope with grief and wasn't thinking clearly that night. She immediately regretted what she'd done. In early 2024, Julie pleaded guilty and was sentenced to 5 years of probation, including mental health and substance abuse treatment. She avoided prison, but the emotional weight remained. Today, Julie has turned her grief into action, determined to make sure no other family feels the pain she carries. Kay's story is now helping others find light in the darkness. Her name has become a reminder to check on your friends, speak up when something feels heavy, and lead with kindness, always. Long live Caylee Mastin, loved deeply, remembered forever.